NK Toko Sports welcomes you to our coverage of high school basketball, where the Covington Buccaneers will take on the Russia Raiders. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, Cargill, and NK Toko. You're looking live at the Hive here at Sydney High School district semifinal matchup. Covington taking on Russia, 3 versus 7 seed. My name is Brandon Coburn, alongside me, Jeremy Plyman. And Jeremy, first we take a look at the higher seed Covington Bucks, second in the Three Rivers Conference this year, 19-5 overall. They cruise in their first 2 rounds and beat Troy Christian pretty soundly the other night, and looking to get back to their second consecutive district final.
Should be a great game here tonight. You know, it's going to be real interesting to see how Russia handles Covington's 2-3 zone. That sometimes they have a tendency they want to get out. They'll trap on the wings. They'll show you some different stuff. Tonight, I would imagine a lot of that is going to revolve around containing Ronnie Poland down inside.
And we take a look on the flip side, the Russia Raiders. They played Covington back in December. That's a game I called at the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium, and Raiders fell in that game 44-37. That was kind of one of the lower points of the Raiders season. They really turned a stone, went 8-3 in their final 11 games of the season, playing better here. And first-year coach Michael Bayshore decides to go in Covington's bracket, setting up a real good matchup here.
You know, the biggest thing is that change right there for them, Brandon, a lot of times, they lost a lot from last year. And they had a lot of kids who was getting first-time minutes on the varsity level, and now those kids have come along, and they got to that point, and the switch kind of flipped for them, and the lights came on for them, and now, as you said, they're 8-3 in their last 11 and playing some really good basketball.
Yeah, and really that flip switched against in that Jackson Center game, and it was a lot different Raider team than what they were playing in December, but it's setting up a really good matchup here.
Should be a good one. Should be exciting.
We'll kick it down to the public address announcer. We'll have our national anthem and starting lineups, keys to the game, and tip-off here next on NK Toko Sports.
When I graduated from Salina, I didn't know much about the job market here.
I knew I wanted to come back to the area. I went to Hometown Opportunity where I was looking for a local job.
It really opened up my eyes to the employer market around here.
I was able to filter down my options, see what types of jobs were out there for me.
Linked me directly with those local companies.
And the last 6 months have been wonderful to feel that family environment again.
Back here on NK Toko Sports, let's take a look at the starting lineups here tonight. First, taking a look for the visitors on the scoreboard. That's the Buccaneers out of the Three Rivers Conference, at 19-5 overall in that conference, behind the champions Miami East. Sophomore, number 3, Avery Kofer, sitting at 5'4". Number 10, a 5'4" sophomore, Delaney Murphy. She was only 11-13 from the field the other night against Troy Christian. Number 12, all TRC selection, 5'9" senior Gracie Anderson. Number 14, a 6-foot junior forward, number 14, Maggie Anderson. And rounding out the lineup in the middle, a 5'10" senior forward, number 30, Carly Biesecker. The head coach of the Covington Bucks in his second season is Sean Naff, assisted by Carly Schell and Ashley Naff. And now the starting lineups for the Russia Raiders at 13-10 overall, finishing third place in the Shelby County Athletic League. Number 4, Shelby County Athletic League co-player of the year, Ronnie Poling. Number 20, senior Jayla Shappy. Number 21, junior wing player, number 21, Addison Shappy. Number 22, freshman Celeste Borchers. And rounding out the lineup, number 32, freshman 5'9", Hazel Francis, number 32. Head coach of the Russia Raiders in his first season is Michael Bayshore. He's assisted by Rachel Borchers, Kara Doherty, and Luke Daypore. Let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza in Newport, Ohio. First, Jeremy taking a look for the Covington Bucks.
3 things that Coach Sean Naff is looking for his team. They first, number 1, contain Ronnie Poling, the Shelby County Athletic League Co-Player of the Year. Finish possessions with a rebound and defend without fouling.
And taking a look now for the Raiders.
For Coach Bayshore's team, number 1, move the ball against this zone. Keep it moving. Try to find Poling inside. Get gaps. Close out on shooters and limit turnovers.
Officials for tonight, Christopher Estes, Andre Bumpus, and Christopher Holland. And the tip is controlled by the Raiders, and it's that 3-2 zone Covington shows here early on. Typical, you won't see them play man, but they will trap and be active on those wings.
For Russia, you just need to be a little bit patient. You need to attack some gaps and then look for cutters and look for kickouts for shooters.
Francis with the ball on the left side. Comes back, spins on the inside. Celeste Borchers over to Jayla Shappy. Addison Shappy, she's going to fire a 3. It rattles out and goes in the hands of Gracie Anderson.
And those are the kind of looks, if you're the Russia Raiders, you can get if you get a quick ball reversal like that.
It just comes down to if you're the Raiders hitting the shots. 3-point shooting, not the biggest strength of this Raiders team. Unlike the Bucks, it's one of their biggest attributes, and one of the biggest players that contributed the other night was Delaney Murphy, and she kickstarts the scoring. 2-0 Bucks here on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard quickly after one possession for each team. Shappy in the corner gives a shot fake. Goes over to Celeste Borchers. And Covington's got Poling covered up. They're playing similar coverage on how they played her the first time.
They do a nice job talking inside on defense. There are a lot of communication with their bottom line up to the middle there of where Ronnie Poling's at.
Shappy drives on the inside, back out to Borchers on the right side. Back to Jayla Shappy. Shappy looks to go to the right side, goes back to Francis. You're going to see a patient Raiders team here. Shappy going to launch another 3, and it's off the mark. Rebound down to Poling. She goes up, and she can't convert. Gets her own rebound, and she nods the game up at 2.
That was one of the things Coach Sean Naff talked about, must rebound to finish all possessions.
And that's always the downside of that zone is that all that spacing causes some of that, inability to defensive rebound.
And that's against average rebounders. Now you're dealing with Ronnie Poling in there. That's a whole different animal.
And we talked about, too, Covington doesn't go really deep. They only maybe go about 6 deep and maybe see the first person off the bench in Gabby Hartwig. But the one thing that, Covington, they get a foul there on Biesecker. You got to watch it now because you only go about 6 deep.
That's probably part of the reason why they do play a lot of zone. They don't want to get in an up and down game if they don't have to.
Francis dribbles over to Shappy. She gives a shot fake, but she shuffled her feet. See, Shappy took 2 threes. She missed them. She's the best Raider sharpshooter from the outside. As Delaney Murphy brings the ball up, she was magnificent the other night against Troy Christian. 11 of 13 from the field. Was our NK Tolko player of the game. Cross-court pass to Kofer. Kofer drives the inside. Kofer with the right hand. Off the mark, no good. And Poling clears the boards. Here comes Shappy up ahead to the left side to Francis. Francis back to Shappy. Cross-court Shappy. She's going to pull the trigger. Got it. Bullseye from the right corner. Addison Shappy gives the Raiders their first lead of the ball game.
That shot's going to be there on those quick ball reversals. That's not even hesitating up top. They're not even looking to shoot on the top of the key there. They're moving it all the way around.
Gracie Anderson with the basketball. Covington, a very good 3-point shooting team. Biesecker on the inside, trying to get around Poling. Great move by Carly Biesecker. And she is super athletic and gets a nice bucket for Covington.
You don't see many girls go to that step through and go to that little underhand shovel. Now, we see it more often than the boys, but that was a great move.
Raiders shot no good from Borchers. Gets to the inside to Hazel Francis. Steps out to Shappy. It's bombs away from the arc for the Raiders. They're not shooting well to start from the outside, and Covington controls the rebound.
They haven't been bad looks. They've been open looks, but they're probably looks they're going to get all night long if they want to get Ronnie Poling a little bit more involved, probably.
Shot from Biesecker, no good as she squares up from the arc. And like I said, it's like one of Rushi's things. They don't really shoot too many threes. This one, like, too much on it. Francis gets the offensive board. She walked, though, as she's trying to step through. Rushi's getting offensive boards. They're getting a lot of shots. It's kind of a similar start that they had against Newton. As Claudia Haney will come into the lineup, a 6'1" sophomore. I haven't seen the Anderson sisters get a shot off yet.
And they come in combined, scoring almost 22 a game.
They're going to call a foul against Ronnie Poling. And Biesecker and Poling, that's an interesting matchup to watch all night.
And you would think that that's what you're going to possibly see is Biesecker try to see if she can take Ronnie Poling out to the wing a little bit and attack her from there. Now they got her posted on the block.
Biesecker going to throw it away on the baseline. And it's something Coach Bayshore is starting to trust his girls more throughout this season. Really early on, it was a lot of Ronnie Poling this, Ronnie Poling that. He's got better guard play throughout the season where he can just trust his guards to go at it. It's given them a little bit of a renaissance in the second half. And players like that, Celeste Borchers, have been a huge reason why. Big bucket for Celeste, and the Raiders have a 3-point lead.
And you talk about the switch going off as against Jackson Center there. You talked about it. And since then, you know, the players like Celeste Borchers and Hazel Francis, the two young freshmen, have kind of turned their game around to head a different direction.
Player control foul. See, it's against one of the Anderson sisters. I think it's against Gracie. Called by official Andre Bumpus. Anderson Senior all TRC. Shappy goes in the corner. Celeste Borchers. They feed Poling on the inside, and Ronnie Poling gets that nice power move on the inside, and the Raiders lead up to 5.
Gives her 4 on the evening.
Kofer will go up to the right side to Biesecker. Maggie Anderson, top of the key. Anderson drives on the inside. Nice move by Maggie Anderson, and a tough basket there for the junior Maggie Anderson.
You got to believe Coach Neff wants to get those Anderson girls involved. That was the first shot either one's taken almost at the 2-minute mark. We're 6 minutes into the game, and neither one had taken a shot up until then.
First game these two played, Maggie was in a lot of foul trouble, but when she came back in the third quarter, she was the difference in the game. Shooting from the outside. Haney gets it on the inside to Poling. Poling going to try to do it herself. Shot no good, and Biesecker clears the boards. Kofer throws it away. Borchers up ahead. It got a little 2-on-2 break here. Borchers to the basket will score. So that's Borchers with 4 points, and the Raider lead back up to 5.
Celeste almost to her average already here in the first quarter. She's got 4 points.
Anderson top of the key, being guarded by Borchers. Gives it up on the inside. And nice move, Carly Biesecker. And like you said, Jeremy, they're going to her, letting her attack Ronnie Poling, trying to get her to pick up that second foul.
Yeah, and Poling wasn't real aggressive with her there. Kind of left her get that baseline and then just kind of gave up and let her take the shot there. She can't afford to get her second one because that'd be a little bit of a game changer for the Raiders.
Borchers steps into a 3, got it. Celeste Borchers, a big first quarter for her, 7 points, and the Raider lead up to 6.
The young freshman not fazed by this at all today.
Kofer trying to slither in the lane, kicks it out. Gracie Anderson, she's going to fire a 3. He's got too much on that. And Shappy up ahead, up to a streaking Claudia Haney trying to go to the rack, and there's a block up ahead. And Anderson tried to sell that charge call there. That foul's on the floor. Only the second foul against Covington. A couple of substitutions in for the Raiders. Faith York and Jayla Shappy. So that's Borchers, 7 points that first quarter. I talked about that game that really switched off the Raiders, that Jackson Center game. Celeste Borchers was 5 of 6 from 3 in that game.
She's definitely playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Haney going to take the long jump shot. It's no good. Poling subbed out off the floor for the Raiders right now, trying to avoid that second foul. Murphy with it on the inside, Maggie Anderson, and nice move by Maggie Anderson on the left block with a big bucket.
And then with Poling not in there, they just went right to the basket, and that's a costly turnover by the Russia Raiders there.
Arrow favors Covington going into the second quarter, so Covington could get a huge swing here going into the second quarter. On the inside, Biesecker, shot no good. Might have been a little contact there. Borchers working up ahead. Borchers going to chuck it up at the horn. It's short. We played 8 minutes of basketball here in the district semifinals. We got a good one going here. Folks, Russia ahead of Covington 14-10 here on your home for high school basketball, NK Toko Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We are certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
We played 8 minutes of basketball here at the Hive in the district semifinals, and Russia leads Covington 14-10, and there's bombs away for the Raiders in the first quarter. 1 of 6 from 3, but they still hold a 4-point edge here, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly right there, Brandon. They were 6 for 14 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. Neither team's been to the free throw line. It's been awfully clean that way. Russia on the other hand, or Covington on the other hand, 5 for 10 from the field and 0 for 2 from 3.
Shot blocked by Biesecker. And what you're really seeing Covington do is letting the Andersons and Biesecker go to work on the block. They're a really good three-point shooting team. We're probably one of the, if not the best, three-point shooting girls basketball team in the area.
But so far they haven't gotten many off. Russia's doing a nice job closing out, hand high and everything.
Shot no good. Poling, falling away, rebound, just throws it up, dances around, and we got a foul. It's going to go against the Raiders. That's going to go against Jayla Shappy. That's going to be her first, team's first.
Russia dominating on the offensive boards right now. That's their 5th offensive rebound of the night here early in the second quarter.
And that was something they did really good in their game last week against Newton. They got a lot of offensive stickbacks. Step back shot high off the glass. It's no good by Gracie Anderson. So it's Borchers trying to work in the lane, kicks it out, Shappy. Shappy will go skip pass over to Jayla Shappy. And here comes that trap by Covington. Their zone's getting a little more active, and we got a timeout by Coach Michael Bayshore. And we'll see he's got a 30-second timeout. We'd like to thank our sponsors here on NK Toko Sports. They're CarriageWorks, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, the Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, the St. Henry Bank and WCSM Radio, our scoreboard sponsors, the First National Bank, Keys to the Game, Keel Pizza. All timeouts are brought to you by Precision Strip. Our player of the game, which Jeremy and I will bring to you at the end, is brought to you by NK Toko. And our mid and post-game stats are brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. And our Sydney Live View sponsor that you can see on your screen is brought to you by Cargill. So coming out of the Precision Strip timeout, Coach Bayshore probably wanted to talk about how to get around now that Covington's kind of adjusted their zone into a trapping zone, a more active zone now here, Jeremy.
Yeah, they're a little bit more active on the wings, and it looks like they're trying to play that. Russia early in the first quarter was able to swing that side to side real easily, and now they're kind of jumping out on that wing a little bit, and it's not quite there, and it's causing Russia to slow things down just a little bit more. They're a little hesitant out top.
Jayla Shappy with it, over to Addison Shappy on the right side. Goes up to Hazel Francis. Francis drives in the lane, straddles the baseline, turnaround shot. Nice play by the freshman Hazel Francis.
Both freshmen have been ultra aggressive so far early in the game here, Brandon.
16-10 our score now. Kofer with a nice move in the lane. I got partially blocked by Poling. Shappy up ahead. will stop, go back to her cousin Jayla. Left side over to Hazel Francis. Covington still staying in that zone. Jayla Shappy, cross court back to Hazel Francis. Francis gets a shot fake. Here comes the double. Claudia Haney, wraparound shot is up and in, and the Raider lead up to a game high, 8 points.
Nice ball movement there, really patient. Great cut from Haney to get open right on the side of Ronnie Poling there. Found that little open area in the post there and was able to get to the hole.
Step through by Murphy, no good. I think she lost her balance at the end. Francis up ahead. Francis reverses course. Shappy, left wing, fires a three. Too much off the mark. Poling gets the rebound, rattles out. And Maggie Anderson pulls the board down. Henderson slicing in the lane. Shot is up. Good and one for Maggie Anderson. Nice move by the junior, Maggie Anderson. Boy, that's a good swing for Covington, too.
That was a big one there. You know, a little 4-point swing. They had Ronnie Poland at the rim. Just rolled one out on an offensive rebound. Covington able to come down the other way and get Gracie Anderson involved.
Maggie misses the free throw. Maggie actually set a school record for most consecutive free throws made. She's over a 90% free throw shooter. Raiders catch a break that she missed that one. Francis with it. Here comes the trap. Gets to Haney on the elbow. Back over to Shappy. Got a good look. Just didn't convert. They get the rebound, though. Poling goes up through the contact and scores. Ronnie Poling up to 6 points, and the Raider lead back up to 8.
Another offensive rebound by the Russia Raiders.
Left side, B. Secker on the exchange to Anderson. Gracie Anderson still scoreless here. B. Secker on the inside, and Carly B. Secker will head to the line. Got a little wrapped up there, and the senior will get 2 free throws. B. Secker, one of those 2 seniors, along with Gracie Anderson. Carly, all league selection in volleyball, and a very good track runner as well in the hurdles. And she connects on the first free throw.
A lot of athletes on the floor here for both teams, Brandon.
We'll see Celeste Borchers sub in here. She'll come in for Faith York. Secker trying to cut the lead to 6 here with 4:31 to go on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. A halftime break. Maggie Anderson, nice rebound, but she just threw a shot up. And the Covington deficit stays at 7.
She wasn't guarded like she thought. I think she could have came down with it and squared herself up and got a good look at it.
And these 2 teams a rematch from December, which the Bucks won 44-37. Borchers in the corner. She's going to fire a 3. Pops out. Rebound down to Hazel Francis. Goes up herself, and the freshman scores, and the Raiders are just dominating the offensive glass here.
That's 9 offensive rebounds so far on the game for the Russia Raiders midway through the second quarter.
Shot fake, Maggie Anderson. Good straight-up defense by Poling to not foul. Rebound goes down to the Raiders. Borchers to Shappy. Cross court to Hazel Francis. It's that offensive rebounding, that's the difference right here. Shot fake by Borchers. She slithers on the inside, throws it up. Shot no good, and the rebound goes down to Avery Kofer.
That's Covington's first defensive rebound of the quarter.
Covington shot no good from the outside to get an offensive rebound of their own. See if they try to go to B. Secker on the inside. She'll retreat out. Kofer straddles the baseline. Back to B. Secker. Looks to go right at her senior counterpart, but it's taken away by the freshman Francis. She's up ahead against Delaney Murphy. Shot up, it doesn't matter. Through the contact, Hazel Francis scores. That was about as perfect straight-up defense as you could get.
Absolutely.
We got a timeout by Coach Sean Knapp. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. We'll take it with them. Russia 24, Covington 13. We'll be back here after word from our sponsors on NK Toco Sports. Back here on NK Toko Sports, and Rushie's opened up a double-digit lead here at 24-13 here over Covington, Jeremy.
It's being led the first quarter. Celeste Borchers has 7 points. Here we are midway through the second quarter, and it's been the other freshman, Hazel Francis, now with 6. Couple offensive rebounds and nice play by her. Both freshmen playing really well.
Shot no good by Anderson on the inside. Substitution in number 11, Gabby Hartwig, into the lineup for Covington. Covington trying to get back to their second straight district finals. Rushi trying to make it to their 4th consecutive district finals. Last year they won the district, and out before they lost in the regionals to Fort Laramie. Borchers in the corner will fire a 3. Shot no good, and that's going to be a foul against Poling. And that'll be her second. Big development for Covington. And now Rushi's going to be without their best player the last 2 minutes and 17 seconds of the first half. But the Raiders have shown offensively that they're not solely relying on her.
Yeah, Ronnie Poling has 6. I mean, but those have come off of a lot of times offensive rebounds. A lot of this damage in the offensive set has been done by Celeste and Hazel.
And there's jump ball there. Celeste Borcher started the... I thought it, yeah. That's the first jump ball we've had all game.
I believe so, yeah. So it should be back to the Rushi.
Yeah, Covington did start with the ball with the second quarter. So that's, in girls basketball, we get more jump balls than that. You get to wait till the 2:07 mark in the second. And now here's the mix-up by Covington. They come with full court pressure here. Haney up to Hazel Francis, trying to get through Gabby Hartwig, who gets the block. Covington's got to capitalize here without pulling in on the defensive end for Rushi.
You got to believe you got to go to Biesecker here, right? I mean, Celeste Borchers has played really well, but she hasn't had to guard Biesecker yet, and you'd think you'd put her in a one-on-one situation and see how this gets handled a little bit.
Anderson to that right side. They're trying to run Maggie Anderson off a curl. Goes to the left side to Carly Biesecker. Go on the inside. Delaney Murphy, step back, shot is good. Delaney Murphy, the super sophomore, with the bucket.
4 on the evening for her after she had 21 the other night.
And she's developed into a really good player for Coach Sean Naff. Like I said, very good the other night. And Covington now coming with a bit more pressure. Shappy, right wing, going to fire a 3 off the mark. She's going to get her rebound down in the corner, though. Raiders swinging it around. Celeste Borchers trying to split the defense. Hop step, shot no good, and Biesecker pulls down the rebound.
10 offensive rebounds now for the Rushi Raiders. Oh, nice hesitation move.
That's the 5th foul on the Raiders in the quarter. And Biesecker's going to head to the line for 2.
After a fairly clean first quarter, Rushi's gotten a little slap happy here in the second one.
Biesecker at the line. Chance to open the game up. You're going to see Callie Gubo come in for Rushi. And Biesecker can't connect. Coach Michael Bayshore trying to talk to Christopher Estes about getting maybe a call here is what I think he's wanting. He's saying, let my girls play a little bit here, but these officials have actually called a really good game here tonight so far as Biesecker gets the free throw. Callie Gubo sneaks behind the defense. Off the bench, shot no good. Haney gets the rebound. Short jumper, Hazel Francis. Shot no good, Rushi. Shappy steps through the lane and is fouled and will shoot 2.
Offensive rebounds. The Rushi Raiders are now up to a dozen.
Wow. And they're getting them without pulling in either.
Absolutely. She has a couple of them, but like you said, it's the cast of characters around her that has them, just as many as she does.
Addison Shappy connects on the first free throw. The sophomore got a little bit, or this junior got a little bit of time as a sophomore playing on the varsity roster last year and hits 2 big free throws. Rushi really trying to weather the storm with pulling out until half. And the lead back up to 10 for Rushi. It's been as much as a dozen.
The way Covington shoots three-pointers, though, they're not necessarily out of this game at all.
No, not at all. Hartwig gets the basketball. Hartwig up over to Biesecker, trying to go on the inside. Her shot short. Rebound down to Claudia Haney if she can keep it alive, and she does. And Rushi's going to get one shot here to go into the halftime break. Here comes the pressure. Right idea from Coach Naff. Francis over to Haney. Haney going to take the short jumper. Clanks off the side of the iron, and Anderson walked. And Rushi's going to have 1.2 seconds to get something off here.
Do you go get Ronnie Poling for a lob here? I don't think so.
I think he's going to trust his girls. Something he might have not have done in December. They run Shappy off a curl, fire three at the horn, off the mark,
nice
no
look.
good. Indeed a good look, but we head to the halftime break. Our score, Russia 26, Covington 16. We'll be back after this halftime break with our first half stats and recap here next on NK Toko Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Back here at the Hive, we played one half of basketball here in the district semifinals. Our score, Russia 26, Covington 16. Let's take a look at our first half numbers. Brought to you by our sponsors at Grand Lake Health Systems, and with those first half numbers, Jeremy Plyman.
For the Covington Buccaneers, they were 7 for 21 from the field, 33%. They did not make any three-pointers, and they only shot 3 of them, Brandon. And we talked like how they like to get them up, and they shoot them well. They were 2 for 5 from the free throw line. They had 9 rebounds in the half. 2 of those were offensive. Clean game offensively. They've only turned it over 5 times. They were led by Maggie Anderson and Carly Biesecker, both with 6. Delaney Murphy has 4. For the Russia Raiders, they were 11 of 33 from the field, 33%. Not a great percent, but when you have 12 offensive rebounds, you're getting multiple looks every time. They had 1 for 9 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. As I said, they had 23 rebounds. 12 of those were offensive and only turned it over 3 times. They were led in the scoring column by freshman Celeste Borchers with 7. Hazel Francis and Ronnie Poling have 6. Addison Chappie has 5. And Claudia Haney has chipped in 2.
Kofer with the basketball as Covington starts this second half. And they're going to start with a turnover. Russia starting with Ronnie Poling back in. Only has 2 fouls, but so the Raiders weather the storm with her. The Shelby County Co-Player of the Year with Avery Brandway, which we'll see in our next game. These are 2 Shelby County versus 3 River Conference TRC matchups here. And here comes the trap from Covington. They get the ball on the inside. They get Poling with the one-on-one with Biesecker, and the Raiders lead up to a game-high 12.
You got to feel Covington's got to try to do something here, Brandon, to try to either A, speed this game up a little bit or try to get some turnovers, because the way it's going right now, not a great situation for the Covington Buccaneers.
Anderson with the basketball. Back up to Kofer. A little open post offense here for the Bucks. As gets tipped, it's going to stay with the Covington Bucks.
Gracie Anderson for the Covington Buccaneers comes in averaging 9.3 points per game, has taken 2 shots.
So you see her try to run Maggie Anderson off that curl. She's going to catch that ball up on top of the key. Try to back down. Borchers on the inside. Nice step through and a nice score for Maggie Anderson, who's got a team-high 8 points. Score 28-18 now. Raiders ahead on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Francis will kick it out to Shappy. Back to Jayla Shappy. A little pitch and catch with her cousin on the arc.
Russia being very patient now.
Rushi trying to advance to their 4th straight district finals with a win here tonight. There's going to be a foul out on Delaney Murphy.
As we see the Botkins and Jackson Center girls both sitting in the stands here tonight. The oddity we talked about off air there, Brandon, they don't play till Wednesday night. They will play the winner of this game. Kind of odd that they're not playing on the same night.
Yeah.
You know, one's only going to get 2 days rest, but on the other hand, Rushi or Covington's not going to know who they play anyways until Wednesday, so there's not much prep time anyways.
Yes. Of course, the Raiders played both those teams twice, being the Shelby County Athletic League. Short jump shot is good by Celeste Borcher. She's having a magnificent night. She's got 9.
Yeah, and you're definitely right there, Brandon. Does it really matter? You've already played each other 2 times. There's not much new that's a little different. If there's anything different, it's probably for the Raiders with their youth. They're playing way better now than they were earlier in the year.
Raiders split the season series with Jackson Center. They beat Botkins twice. They faced, and the thing with the open draw, they faced Botkins 3 years in a row in this exact same game.
Absolutely.
So that's a little different thing with the open draw. And we don't know how things will be next year with the 7 divisions. I believe Covington's Division 6.
I believe Rushi and Botkins and Jackson will all be 7. The rumor is that they will be going to higher seed host sites. So there will only be 1 game, and it'll be at the higher seed.
Francis with it, cross-court pass, Addison Chappie. She tries to go on the inside, little wraparound high off the glass. It's no good. Pulling
Great
offensive board,
rebound.
gets the stick back and up and in for Ronnie Poling. And this Raiders team is pouring it on with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They lead by a game-high 14.
Baker's dozen on the offensive rebounds alone.
Gracie Anderson driving on the inside, looking for a bucket, and the senior cracks the box score.
I feel if you're Covington, you'd like to try to pick the pace of this game up a little bit. It's a little stagnant, and some of that comes from being in the 3-2 zone a little bit. We did see them early try to go to that 1-2-2 press, and they only did it about a possession or 2 and backed out of it.
Shot no good. Murphy gets the rebound and just starts running down the other end. Her shot leans into the contact. And a foul there on Addison Chappie. And Delaney Murphy will go to the line for 2. Delaney Murphy, the southpaw, at the line. Take the shot and connect on the first one.
She's had herself a nice little tournament here in the last couple games.
She's come along really nice for second-year coach Sean Naff. As Hazel Francis, Jayla Shapp will come off the floor. Claudia Haney will come in for the Raiders. Murphy splits from the line. Rebound down to Claudia Haney. Raiders get it up ahead. Celeste Borchers trying to go through the defense. Addison Shappie going to fake a 3. Get it back out to Hazel Francis. She drives baseline. Kicks it out. Shappie will take it from the foul line. Her shot rattles around and gets a nice bounce and in. And we got a timeout by Coach Michael Bayshore. It is a 30-second timeout. All timeouts brought to you by our sponsor, Precision Strip. Our additional sponsors are Carriage Works, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, the Minster Bank, Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, the St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. Our scoreboard sponsors, the First National Bank, Keys to the Game, Kiewel Pizza. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. And our player of the game, which Jeremy and I will name you at the end of the game, is brought to you by NK Telco. And our mid and post-game stats are brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. And our Sydney Live View sponsor that you see on your screen right now is brought to you by Cargill. 34-21. Interesting, Coach Bayshore takes the timeout in the middle of the quarter. He might be thinking he's trying to set up some defense here.
I would think so. Anderson's got to the rim there a couple times in a row, and I would imagine he's going to try to shore things up, like you said, a little bit. Wonder if he switched somebody around to guard her a little differently.
Maggie Anderson on the inside trying to rip through. Shot no good. Rebound down to Ronnie Poling.
Great defense there by Haney.
Francis gives a shot fake. Goes on the inside. Short shot no good. Biesecker tips it out to Delaney Murphy. Murphy up ahead to the left side. Rips through. Little Euro step there and scoop shot, and she's fouled and will return back to the line for 2 free throws.
She is right now head down, I'm going to the rim.
It's not desperation mode by any means for Covington, but you're down 13 with 3.5 minutes to go in the third.
And she's been able to get to the shoulder or get to the hip on her defender, and she's been able to get there and cause some issues. So, yeah, I'm not saying it is a desperation at all. You're right, Brandon, but you got to slug some points off here. And if you can get it down under double digits here by the end of the quarter, it gives you a chance, especially the way you shoot three-pointers.
So 2 made free throws there for Delaney Murphy. Gets a huge swing for Covington. The board's wrong here. It should be 34-23, and I think they just switched around there. York loses on the inside. She gets knotted up. It'll stay with the Raiders.
And Murphy's up to 7 points now in the game.
Raiders going to keep possession off the jump ball. Again, our next game, you can catch your live. That'll feature the top-ranked Laramie Redskins against Lehman, and a big shot for the freshman Hazel Francis. Well, you talk about Ronnie Poling, man, it's been the freshman takeover here. 10 points for Hazel Francis, 9 for Celeste Borchers. And Covington going to throw the ball away. Oh, it was tipped out
front by Haney. Rushi crowd does not agree with that.
Gracie Anderson will take it, sideline out of bounds here. Get it back. She'll pull the
way deep.
Quick trigger. It's no good.
That might have seemed a little desperate. But then again, that's only her 4th shot on the game, and some of that is, you need to keep, you hate to say it, you got to feed some mouths here a little bit, and she hasn't been able to get the ball very often.
Covington out to re-enter here. Haney walks. Had the wide open area. Her eyes were probably getting big as she was going to go to the basket and probably score is what she thought. As ball goes left side to Biesecker. Back over to Anderson. Back over Murphy. Murphy over the inside to Biesecker. Goes out to Maggie Anderson. She's going to square up. 3-pointer. It pops out. Rebound down to Celeste Borcher. She's fouled by Gracie Anderson. That'll be her second.
Rushi's done a tremendous job, not only on the offensive rebounds, but on defensive rebounds. They've only given up 2 offensive rebounds so far on the game.
That's been the key in the game, like you said. It's been the difference. And like I said, it was big in the win against Newton, and Francis traveled there. And he'll turn it right back over. So back-to-back turnovers for the Raiders. That's one thing they've cut down on at the beginning of the season.
It was one of the keys to the game by Michael Bayshore, not turn the ball over. And it was one of the things, then talking to him a little bit there before, that he said that, hey, that's the biggest key to our turnaround is we are taking care of the basketball way better.
Anderson will go to the free throw line, I believe, here. And I'll stack them up. And really, that's where Covington's had to live if they've had any offense. It's had to been at the free throw line here lately.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the fouls are starting to kind of mount up a little bit here. And all the shots that are coming, every time there's a foul, it's on to attack the basket. And they're getting to the free throw line.
Anderson connects on the first one. I said her sister Maggie set a school record this year for most consecutive free throws made in a season, as the scoreboard's wrong there, and they just gave a point to Rushi that should have went to Covington, but the Bucks should be back within 9 here after 2 hit free throws by Gracie Anderson. Francis straddles the baseline. She stepped on the baseline, and that's 3 straight turnovers for the Raiders. The scoreboard reads right now 36-25. Raiders ahead of the Bucks. I want to say it's 36-27. I believe they've had a scoreboard issue.
I think it's right. I think we're good.
Is it?
Yep.
Anderson on the inside. Anderson's shot rattles out. Pulling clears the boards. Gives it up to Faith York. York getting a little pressure out front. Goes out to Hazel Francis. Covington now playing a little, it looks like they're in a little bit of man here now. Looks like they are in man here officially.
As the official kind of had to bring Coach Bayshore back into the box there a little bit. He had stepped out in front of him.
shot up and a foul. Hazel Francis to the line. She's had a magnificent game. Kind of if you watch the boys team, her brother Felix, 6'4". Raiders fans are hoping she can grow to be about that 6 foot mark. Her sister Sophie was 6 foot, 6'1", and she's been magnificent as a freshman. Started on the very first night. Russia always traditionally opens with Sydney every year, and she scored 10 points in that game, and she's played well for them throughout the entire year.
Well, she's built like older brother, long and tall, so nice young athlete. Nice, pretty shot there.
He's got a game-high 12 points. Baker's dozen lead now for Russia at 38-25. Kofer with it, gives it up to Gracie Anderson. They try that little weave on the inside. Senior to senior connection there, and a score for the Covington Buccaneers.
Nice look there. Anderson finds Biesecker.
And we got a clock issue here as it's froze with 55.3 seconds. Called a couple games here at Sydney. They've had a couple clock issues this year. They put in that scoreboard last season, I believe.
And it is nice. There's no doubt.
They redid this gym this year. New floor, new bleachers. This has always been traditionally for most Shelby County teams, the area where they've played their sectional. Obviously, we're going at 7 divisions next year, and we talked about how that's going to change everything. Winner of this game, though, Saturday, like you said, will play their Shelby County Athletic League team in Botkins or Jackson Center. That game at Troy High School, along with 2 other girls' games that will be played that day. We're not going to be able to provide that coverage, but I believe if someone makes, obviously, a Shelby County team will be playing in the next game no matter what. I believe Scorch Broadcast will probably be on the call for that game, so you can catch that on Hits 105.5 with Jack Kramer or Chuck McBee. Shappy with it. Tries to go on the inside. Biesecker breaks it up and gets the turnover.
Rushi not real good with the basketball here in the last 4 to 5 possessions. That's 4 turnovers here in the third quarter, and most of them coming in the last 4 to 5 possessions. Biesecker going at Ronnie Poling.
Shot's no good. Raiders battling for the rebound. It's going to be off Biesecker last. And it's going to be Raider basketball. And Faith York comes in the ballgame for Addison Chappie.
If somebody cut to the rim there from Covington when Biesecker makes a move, you watch all of Rushi. They're kind of out there hugging the shooters because Covington likes to shoot. But I got a feeling they could get a back door if they wanted one there, Brandon.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They just kind of stood offensively.
Haney on the left side, back over to Shappy. Gets it knocked out by Murphy. It's going to stay with the blue and gold.
This is a big possession for Rushi right here. You're still up 11. You could really stretch this thing out. If you're Covington, you need a stop.
It's a foul on Biesecker. That'll be her second. And really it'd be not like a killer, like a kick to the chest going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It would hurt you emotionally. The downfall is like we talked about, Rushi's turned it over 4 times here late in the third quarter, but Covington's only capitalized a couple times.
Hazel Francis through the lane, shot no good. Tie up, and that tie up's actually going to be huge.
That hurts.
Because that's going to give it to Covington. So Rushi's going to start the fourth quarter with the ball. Big swing for Rushi.
On .7, you're not getting much out of this.
No, and Coach Bayshore going to wisely take out Ronnie Poling and say, I'm not going to have something stupid happening. Her get a foul. Anderson will chuck it three-quarter court, and nothing doing there. It's 38-27. Rushi ahead of Covington. We'll step back, come back with the final 8 minutes of regulation. You're next on NK Choco Sports.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Back here on NK Toco Sports, 38-27, Rushi ahead of Covington. And Raiders, it was a 3-7 matchup, but the 7th seed, the underdog, is taking a little bit of control, trying to start the fourth quarter off on a good note. Shot no good from the right wing, but the Raiders get another offensive board. Hazel Francis going to take a rare three. Shot off the mark. Borchers with the rebound. And the Raiders just dominating the offensive glass.
Hazel Francis really, after that shot, didn't look like she had wanted to take it.
Anderson with the foul. Ronnie Poling will go to the line for two. Rushi's not shot the three well, but they're just getting the long offensive rebounds.
Before that shot by Francis, they were 1 for 10 on the game. They're now 1 for 11, about 9%.
Ronnie Poling at the line with a chance to stretch that Raider lead. Really the player that has been the glue of this Raiders roster this year. She's done a nice job in holding the team, which really struggled in the first part of the year, to say the least, and they struggled to really find their groove, and she really kept them together and kept them in some games, got on some big wins over teams like Mississinawa Valley early in December. But ever since, her cast around her has really helped her out, and she earned that co-player of the year with Avery Brandaway. And Covington's going to need more of that if they want to get back in the ballgame. Delaney Murphy with a big shot, and they cut the lead to 10.
You know, you talk about Ronnie Poling being a leader there and stuff like that. She is, one of few seniors left on this team, and she was one of the holdovers from last year of a great, set of seniors that had a lot of playing time. And it was just about being patient with all the freshmen and sophomores who were getting minutes. And now it's paying off.
And Hazel Francis, she's got another bucket here. She's up to 12. I have her at 14. Well, yeah, I have her at 14. But she's having a great night nonetheless. 41-29. Three-pointer by Biesecker in and out. We talked about how Covington's such a sharp-shooting team. They haven't made one here tonight, I don't believe.
No, they are now 0 for 7 from 3.
That first game against Rouge, they were over 50%.
And here's the thing, they're 0 for 7, and those 7 haven't been great looks. Rushi's done just a tremendous job guarding the arc out there.
Francis on the inside, she's fouled going up, and Hazel Francis will head to the line for 2 free throws.
We got Hazel Francis on the game with 12 points. You got Celeste Borchers, the other freshman, with 9, having a tremendous game.
And Francis connects on the first one. Raider lead back out to 13. Faith York in the ball game. Francis with split the free throw, and Poling just wisely walks away, not wanting to pick up foul number 3.
Now's not the time.
It's just trying to kill time here in a sense. Trying to get again to their 4th straight district finals. Shot blocked on the arc. There from Maggie Anderson's 3. She lost 2 years in the district finals, 21 and 22 to Tri-Village and Cincinnati Country Day. They won their district final last year against Xenia Legacy Christian before losing to Fort Laramie in the regional. Again, if they win, they will face Botkins or Jackson Center. Covington played Jackson Center earlier in the season. Ball on the ground. Nice play by Carly Biesecker. It's a jump ball. It's going to go the way of the Bucks. They'll force the turnover.
That's 8 turnovers now in the game. Rushy was real good taking care of the ball in the first half. Been a little sloppy, especially from the midway point in the third on. It's only their first turnover in the fourth quarter here.
Biesecker going to be patient. She's going to square up and fire a 3. It's off the mark.
Poling almost daring her to go ahead and shoot that shot out there if she wants to take it. I think Rushy's more than okay with that shot.
It's a little bit of polar opposite here from that first game where Covington, that third quarter especially, they made their first 5 3-point attempts that third quarter, and the first time these two matched up.
What it's doing is with Poling backing off on Biesecker, it's allowing the other ones who are guarding Anderson and Murphy and them to be able to play out on the wing. And if Covington wants to get back into it here a little bit, that's what they kind of got to do. Get the ball, rip, and get to the rim. Murphy has done that quite a few times here, get to the rim.
It's going to be on Jayla Shappy, her second. Jayla Shappy hurt her wrist the other week, missed her own senior night game against Fort Laramie. It was playing with a little bit wrist tape. She's a very good softball player. And it will be for Coach Kenley Ludlow this year as Addison Shappy and Claudia Haney return for the Raiders. At the line, connects. Covington now picks up in the full court, feeling a little desperation now, trailing by a dozen with 4:43 to go in the fourth. Francis getting harassed by B. Secker, and that's going to be her third foul.
You know, Brandon, we sit here and watch. We watch Celeste Borchers and Hazel Francis out there. Both the two young freshmen have older brothers who have been involved in last year's tournament run and stuff like that. They both play baseball and things like that. And you wonder a little bit, does that kind of rub off on the sisters a little bit of they don't feel like this moment's that big. They've been around brothers being in these moments, and it kind of rubs off on them like, I'm good. I can handle this too. I've seen these moments, and it's just not a huge situation to them.
Borchers and Francis are cousins too, so I think they have that little rapport with each other. And Celeste started the season on the JV squad and worked her way up and earned her varsity roster spot. And there's a foul by Avery Kofer. And Addison Shappy will go to the line for two. Shappy at the line. High arcing shot is up and in.
And some of that starting on the JV. You know, you have Hazel up there already starting. You can only bring in so many young kids at a time. There's a lot of.
There's going to be.
As Carter Plyman said one time, there's a lot of babysitting that goes on with the younger kids at times.
That is true. And that's important of veteran leadership, too. And Raiders been a lot in their junior high program. Their 8th grade team was undefeated throughout junior high. So a lot going for Coach Bayshore, who coached on the boys' side before this at Greenville and Fort Recovery, was an assistant when Versailles made their state run in 2013, when they lost in the finals to Ottawa Glandorf. But
he's very accustomed to this. This is the kind of program he probably wants to walk into. Young athletes, competitive athletes.
Yeah, from the MAC and lives in the community and took over for Coach Paul Bremagen, who took 2 years the girls program. And we got a timeout by Coach Bayshore. We're going to step aside. All timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. 3:48 to go. Rouge ahead of Covington. 44-30. We'll step aside here next on NK Toko Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
Back here on NK Toko Sports, our score, Rouge 44, Covington 30. And Rouge trying to close this out. It's been a double-digit lead for quite a while here.
Covington back to that man-to-man they had to go to. They had to kind of abandon the 2-3 zone.
And Murphy never set her foot after Anderson fed her the basketball. And they'll turn it right back over to the Raiders.
It's been at this 12 to 14 range for a long time here, Brandon.
Yeah, it has been. Raiders, not necessarily the point of keep away, but trying to add on. Shot up, no good, but Claudia Haney will head to the line for 2 free throws.
You know, we talk about it a lot here, Brandon. Ronnie Poling, a senior, Jaleel Shappy, a senior, and then it is freshman, sophomore, junior. A lot of young kids out there for the Michael Bayshore's team.
Haney hits the first free throw. Haney dips the knees, fires, and goes a perfect 2 for 2 from the charity stripe, and she's up to 4. Raiders up 47-30, trying to close it out here. Left side, Maggie Anderson. Sense of desperation now amplified for the Buccaneers, who were second in the TRC this season. Anderson going to fire the three, shot off the mark. And it's going to be a jump ball. Arrow's going to favor the Raiders. Addison Shappy going to come in for Russia.
One of Coach Bayshore's things was, limit turnovers, and right now, for the most part, Russia has been okay at doing it. They're better here in the fourth quarter. They had that 4-minute lapse in the third where it's a little bit of a struggle, but they've handled things fairly well so far on the game.
Francis kicks out Celeste Borcher. She thought about a three. Wisely just kind of keeps chewing away that clock. Haney with the basketball. Haney tries to drive back to Addison Shappy. Shappy gets it picked out front, but recovered by Francis in a foul out front. That's going to put Hazel Francis at the line for two.
From here on out, it'll be 2 free throws for the Russia Raiders.
And Francis now at the line trying to add to this Raider lead. She's been superb tonight. And she connects on the first. And man, is 7C coming in, really taking it to the team that they lost to by 7 in December. And
another offensive rebound.
Francis with it. Will just wisely let the clock chew away. And I tell you what, this is a way different Raiders team than the Covington seen the first time around, and they have meant business today, as they're 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from clinching their 4th straight district final berth.
That is 16 offensive rebounds now on the game. And I would imagine Miss Poling is done for the game there, Brandon.
Barring any comeback, it looks like Russia will go to that 4th straight district final, where they await Jackson Senator Botkins, a Shelby County foe, for the right to go to the regional at Vandalia. Butler, Maggie Anderson steps through and says, let's hold the phone here a little bit. I'm trying to get back in this game, and Covington trails by 15. Francis up ahead. Francis in the corner, Celeste Borchers. Russia trying to rot away that clock. And Coach Bayshore wisely takes a timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll step aside. 1:51 to go in the fourth. Russia 47, Covington 32 here on NK Toko Sports.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Back here on NK Telco Sports, 47-32. Russia ahead of Covington here as the Raiders trying to close out victory here tonight. They've taken Ronnie Poling out. She was getting looked at. I don't know if it's anything major. It was getting taken a look at by Brian Downs. And Hazel Francis might have put the nail in the coffin there with another huge bucket.
Hazel Francis was 16 now on the night. The young freshman. Tremendous game. Anderson for 3.
Off the mark. Rebound by the Raiders, and they can smell it here as ball tipped out. It's going to stay with the Raiders. As Buck's going to be denied from going to that 2nd straight district finals. They will graduate 2 seniors, Carly Biesecker and Gracie Anderson.
Those are 2 important seniors, too.
Covington still though, bring back a lot. Delaney Murphy had a very nice tournament run as there's a foul on the inside. Celeste Borchers will go to the line. But, see the subs start coming in. Gabby Hartwig going to come in here for Covington as Gracie Anderson, her 4th free throw.
You talk about that. They'll bring back Avery Coffer, who's averaging almost 7 a game. They'll bring back Delaney Murphy, who's averaging 9 a game. They're going to bring back Maggie Anderson, averaging 13 a game. So there's a lot there, for Coach Sean Neff to bring back next year. The cabinet ain't bare.
And Hannah Alexander will sub in for Covington as Lacey Flippo will come in for the Raiders. And Borcher splits from the line. Another offensive rebound for the Raiders. Now, they can't keep it alive for much longer, but burns a little bit of clock there. Man, it's this game that is completely flipped. It'll be an upset on the seeding as Courtney Flippo will come in and Kylie Dosek for the Raiders. They still play Saturday at Troy. That's a time to be determined, so I'd say be aware on social media and on the Southwest District Athletic Board websites, the swab.org site, for the times and that. It's usually 11, 1, and 3 are the 3 games played at the Troy Student Activity Center, which if you're a Raider fan, their boys will play there tomorrow night against Tri-County North, and then if they can pull off the win, they'll play there Friday, most likely against Newton. There's a lot of good restaurants in Troy, too. It makes it intriguing to go.
Yeah, it does. For all of us who have been used to going to pick one, that's the first 3 of the game for the Covington Buccaneers. For most of us used to going to Piqua, this has opened up a whole new Pandora's box for us down there, Brandon.
Yeah, and now I have to stop at, if we go Saturday, I have to stop at K's or something like that. Now I'm thinking of food.
Oh, yeah. You got that, or you got, they got the taco place downtown.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of nice little places for us.
Scoreboard's wrong, but it should say Russia 50, Covington 35. That'll be the final. And the Russia Raiders will head to the district finals for the 4th consecutive year. They defeat Covington 50-35. You caught it here live on NK Telco Sports. Let's take a look at our sponsors as they are brought to. They were able to bring you tonight's action here tonight on NK Telco Sports. Our sponsors here tonight include Carriage Works, Chiltex LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, the Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, the St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. Our scoreboard sponsors, the First National Bank, Keys the Game, Kiel Pizza. All timeouts are brought to you by Precision Strip. Our player of the game is brought to you by NK Telco. Our mid- and post-game stats are brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. And our Sydney Live View sponsor you can see on the screen is brought to you by Cargill. NK Telco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NK Telco Cable or the NKT.TV app on Channel 156, February 27th at 6 p.m., and on Channel 3 in high definition on 503. March 25th at 7 p.m. and March 26th at 5 p.m. You can also watch games live via pay-per-view through nktelco.com/sports, and more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. So the Russia Raiders will advance on the season. They will advance to 14-10. They'll play in a district final either against one of our NK Telco schools in Botkins or Jackson Center. That game, again, a time to be determined. It'll either probably be 11-1 or 3, just looking at traditionally how things have gone in the past in the district finals, how they schedule for the girls at Troy. So you have to take a look on social media or take a look on the website. We will not be calling that game. We'll probably have your best bet if you want to follow that game is catching it on scoresbroadcast.com with Jack Kramer and Chuck McBee. Scoring after the first quarter here tonight, Russia was ahead 14-10. They led 26-16 at halftime, 38-27 after the third quarter, and the Raiders defeat the Buccaneers by a final of 50-35 here on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. And let's take a look at our numbers brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. With those, Jeremy Plyman.
First for the Covington Buccaneers here, they were 13 for 40 from the field, 1 for 13 from the three-point line. Probably their undoing. They are very good and they struggled from there tonight. They were 7 for 13 from the free throw line. They only had 7 turnovers. They were fairly clean there. Only 14 total rebounds, and 3 of those were offensive. They were led offensively by Maggie Anderson. She had 13. Delaney Murphy had 10. Gracie Anderson had 4, and Carly Biesecker had 8. For the victorious Russia Raiders, they were 18 for 48 from the field, 1 for 12 from 3, 12 for 16 from the free throw line. They had 39 rebounds, 17 offensive, Brandon.
Wow.
They turned it over 11 times. They were led in the scoring column by freshman Hazel Francis with 16, freshman Celeste Borchers with 10, Ronnie Poling chipped in 10, Addison Shappy had 9, and Claudia Haney had 4 for a total of 50.
And one more order of business before we finish here tonight. Let's take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by NK Toko, and we're going to go with
Hazel Francis. The young lady had herself a game there, 16 points on the night, had multiple offensive rebounds, handles the ball a lot for a freshman out front, did a tremendous job tonight.
And Raiders win for the final time 50-35. Again, they'll advance to the district finals on Saturday, either against Botkins or Jackson Center. We're going to step aside. You see Lehman and Laramie warming up. We'll have that game here next, so if you want to follow along and purchase that game as well, we'd be glad to have you. So for the final time from the Hive, Russia defeats Covington and advances to the district finals and wins 50-35. You've been watching a production of girls high school basketball on NK Toko Sports.